Don in London, hello. April 25th, 2010. London Marathon today, and conditions are not ideal apparently. We've had some rain, but it's a bit warm. Anyway, my video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, and I guess if one's a marathon runner, frequent, or a high achiever, there is always a danger of addiction to something, some behaviour or other, which is trying to be perfect or beat the perfect time. Similarly, for some of us, when we get addicted to substance, like alcohol in my case, so I'm a recovering alcoholic, other behaviours happen too, around people, places, things. So addictions to work, trying to be perfect, addictions to relationships, trying to be perfect, and collecting, materialism, never enough, and always striving for the next best thing. Or rather, just striving to be perfect, or I don't know what, just striving and being a complete irritating son of a gun sometimes. I'm not happy. So these days, what's the difference between back then and now? Well, back then I wasn't happy. I experienced every emotion, but probably at extremes, either trying to dominate the situation or trying to fit in with the situation, rather than actually find some balance in there. And that's the key for me today, to try and find some balance on a daily basis. And in the end, alcohol, which was my best friend and was my rite of passage into maturity, all part of growing up, that I could get blasted and find oblivion, be joyful, happy, sad, as alcohol enabled. In other words, fixing myself in some way or other, either by substance or behaviour. That's back then. But now, going the other way, which is trying not to fix anything, accepting life on life's terms, just as it is today, with choices. So I won't be running the marathon today with a broken foot and 2 slipped discs and other things to be concerned about. I'll be watching it intermittently, just to experience the joy that I will see in other people. And it's a very moving thing to be able to be included in the event, even though I'm not actually participating by running. And of course I can always contribute in some small way as well to charity. So these days it's not about being number 1 or a number 2. It's about living life as it is. And what's helped me more than anything is being part of something, part of life, part of a fellowship, which has then helped me continue to be part of family, community and society. And that fellowship, which helped me understand, having had a moment of clarity or two, that I could not beat addiction. I couldn't beat it on my own, and I don't have to beat it in recovery. It's about living to good choices. So it's not about overcoming something and exerting my willpower. It's actually doing the opposite. It's actually saying, I don't have to do that anymore. Simply that. I just don't have to do it. So for me, I don't have to drink on a daily basis. And I don't have to be perfect, and I don't have to be in charge when it comes to people, places and things. That is, work, relationships, anything. And there is a balance in what I need, rather than what I thought I wanted. All the wants were about filling the gap. So this fellowship, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, the one I don't speak for, never can, never will, never want to, we're all there for one similarity, and that's to be sober, and keep sober, and share a message of experience, strength and hope. So we do this in different ways, and fellowship is about sharing in the rooms of AA meetings, where it's anonymous and remains so, and we don't share about other people's stuff. We only share about what is working for us. We can say we were there, but not other people. So what is AA? How does it help me? And what is the literature of AA which is useful on a daily basis to understand 12 steps of action to take or live by, 12 principles of living which keep me on track and part of life, included being able to love, be loved and useful. Well, AA, this is what it is, the statement of intent, and it reads like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I had an email from somebody asking how do they help their partner live soberly when they're having great difficulty, and they've recognised their addiction to alcohol. At the same time, they're finding it very, very, very difficult. And it's very hard for a partner to be able to help, because we love the person and we cherish them and we want to support them, and often that can drag us right back into the problem with them, and then we start to make rules and boundaries and it all gets bitter and twisted. So my suggestion to that person who was looking for help is to love the person as they are, keep the relationship equal around loving each other, and that recovery is something that is engaged in by the person making the choice themselves to find a sober path, and that might include AA or it might include other elements or both. And the gift is that person, when they choose their path of sobriety and realise that that is the key to living with a partner or just living life. We don't know the outcomes except for today. That is the key. It's inside making that choice. I don't have to drink anymore. So if I'm going to not drink anymore, how do I do it? And where will I get help? Well, for me it is in fellowship, and I love the fellowship, and I love the people in fellowship, but sometimes I can hate behaviour of people in fellowship, same as my own behaviour, because we're all learning. So what helps me when I can't get to meetings, and I've had a few weeks of not being able to get to meetings, I use things like this, the Daily Reflections, which covers the 12 steps of action to change our attitude and behaviour on a daily basis. And April is all about step 4, doing a fearless moral inventory, amongst other things, so we know what we were like back then and how we can be today, changing our attitude and behaviour as life is, and not trying to run the whole show. And it says here for April 25th, entering a new dimension. In the late stages of our drinking, the will to resist has fled. Yet when we admit complete defeat, and when we become entirely ready to try AA's 12 principles, our obsession leaves us as we enter a new dimension, freedom under God, or good conscience, depending on your beliefs, as we understand him or it, the situation we are in. I am fortunate to be among the ones who have had this awesome transformation in my life. When I enter the doors of AA alone and desperate, I have been beaten into willingness to believe anything I heard, which is a danger also. One of the things I heard was this could be your last hangover, or you can keep going round and round, which is the insanity of doing the same thing over and over again. The man who said this obviously was a whole lot better off than I. I like the idea of admitting defeat, and I have been free ever since. My heart heard what my mind never could. In other words, our thinking keeps us drinking, and our feelings help us stop. Being powerless over alcohol is no big deal. I'm free and I'm grateful. So when we actually understand that powerlessness does not mean that we are giving up choices, it's actually freeing up our choices to be sober, rather than imposing our self-will, which has failed us in the attempt to stop. So it's not about willpower, it's about accepting we can change and have choices again. And what helps on a daily basis for me is the serenity prayer to God or good conscience. It's a meditation. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, my alcoholism, courage to change the things I can, to live soberly, and the wisdom to know the difference is what I'm learning just for today.